mana.
Okay. What are you into? I got a ton of shit to drop. I gotta drop a ton of shit.
I need mana.
Yeah, I do. I have a separate pile for you next to the caster bitch here.
Yes?
Like, my inventory and my stash are so full, I literally couldn't do anything. So I'm like... No, amethyst. For sorceress, I guess you would keep amethyst and emeralds, because emeralds can make you like armor items. I don't know if you'll ever make armor items. But, I don't use those anymore. For Moon Knight, I like it. Oh, do me a favor before we get started. Can you check if you got rid of that Eisenhart stuff? Yeah, whatever you're not using. Nice. No, not the amulet, the hands? Oh no, amulet. Arcana sign, the amulet. No, I just looked it up. 20 mana regen, 15 to mana. 2 set bonus is 50% magic bind. 3 set bonus is uh, fire resist on the amulet. And then the partial set bonus is 25 mana, 50 to life. And then complete bonus is 50 mana, 50 life, 20% cast rate, and mana steal. Sweet, I can use all that at level 8 and be a beast. What, Stonyfield? Oh, Darkwood? I think I had that waypoint too. Yeah, I did. That's why I crafted
This ancient tree has an
as
aura of
much stuff
magic
as
about it.
possible. Anything that gave me mana regen, I crafted it.
I need mana.
Here, you can take that. Yeah, the amulet does.
Not enough mana.
That Grand Charm that I dropped. Oh. Because I'm a man, that's why.
Oh, hello.
You said that last time we did this Stony Field thing. I wish they would do a Diablo 3 one. I feel like if anything, COVID would be more of a reason to do it. You're gonna be stuck home all the time. I mean, yeah, unless he's like in the healthcare field or something, where he's. I mean, he's been doing a lot of ones for Heroes of the Storm. I want to go back and watch those. He's got like 70 Heroes of the Storm episodes.
I need mana.
Oh, visual. They added Cleave to the Barbarian tree. So I kind of want to throw 1 point into it, just to see. Yeah, it's going to boost Frenzy anyway, so I might as well. That's exactly what I was thinking, like, what's the animation? I could get it right now, level 6, but I got Frenzy instead. Because Frenzy is also level 6 now. No, it was like 24. Double Swing was level 6. And Bash is not level 1 anymore, Double Swing is level 1. And when you start a Barbarian, he's not using an axe and shield, he's using 2 axes.
Greetings.
Alright, let's find out what Cleave looks like. Oh, it's just a single swing. Let's see. Oh. Okay, yeah. Well, here, I'll show you in a second. I have to actually hit an enemy. What was I getting? Strength? Guess we'll go with some Vitality for now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It reminds me of the one dash skill that makes that fun.
I need mana.
Supposedly the Demon Slayer movie came out in Japan and it made like $100 million in theaters.
This place holds many secrets.
Ah! Oh no, please leave me alone.
Not enough mana. I need mana. Not enough mana.
Two. I'm working, so. I mean, she might go. I'm working. That's fine with me. I have to invite Patsy. Well, how about I invite you and Isaac, and Patsy can come if she chooses.
I need mana. I need mana. Not enough mana.
Stay home with what? What names did you pick now? Matthias.
I need mana.
Or Augustine. Matthias definitely sounds better than Augustine. I'm siding with the name that I like better. I mean, if I'm being really honest, I don't like either of the names, but Matthias is better.
Not enough. I need mana.
don't like Mateo either.
I hope to find other such treasures.
Because of Batman? No. I would not like that either.
Hello.
I don't think Bruce is a good name for any Hispanic kid.
You have written. The Order welcomes you.
I mean, I'm just being realistic here. Sure. Sure. No. Sure. Now I'm ready. Got my 3-piece Eisenheart.
I need mana.
I like the way they edited the
Not enough mana.
Piccolo's voice, where it's just like
I need.
the balls in my other pen's pocket are a nerd. Oh, that was good too. I don't remember which one I sent you. Because he's like walking up to him, he's like, guess what, Kakarot? He's like, now he's really getting huge. Man, I don't like the feel of this. Oh, because he'll say like, I don't like the feel of this, and then you'll see him get punched in the nuts.
I need mana. I need mana.
Oh yeah.
Not enough mana.
Rejuve.
Ah, the monastery. On Dariel's stronghold.
Yeah. The new one's a lot faster. The old one is kind of sluggish, but it was nice to like be able to give it voice commands. Cube, yeah. The first generation one is like kind of slow. I have both of them. The downstairs has the old one, and the upstairs in the living room has the new one. Probably. Google just came out with one that's finally just like a Fire Stick, but it's just Android. And it's like $50. I don't know why it took them so long to get away from the Chromecast thing and just make an Android stick. Oh, let me get that maze. That's the same one that I gave you, probably. 15 to strength. Fire resist.
I need mana.
You're gonna drop it? Oh, you picked it up. Yeah. I knew that's the exact base that it was, too. I don't know, I still think I'd rather have a lot of these, like, really off-the-wall random drops than, like, some of the stuff that Diablo 3 had.
Not enough mana.
It's not so much that it has to have practical application. It's about having to like basically having a pool of stuff big enough that just because you find something doesn't mean it's going to be good.
I need mana. I need mana.
So all of the stats on gear and WoW are fixed. So like if I find a set piece, it's always going to drop from the same boss, and the stats are always going to be exactly the same. Worse. Because in WoW, you're spending a lot of time beating these bosses and clearing the content, whereas Diablo, unless they switched it to be specific bosses, they would have to completely change the way the game functions for it to work. Because Diablo is meant to, you're supposed to be able to solo everything and mow enemies down freely by yourself. Yeah, if I get to the stairs.
Greetings. Oh, hi there.
What are they called? Novelas?
Good day.
Oh, that chick's in there? You stupid bears out of the way! Almost got hell mode on my hammer, didn't
I need mana. I need mana.
What level do you have to be to use Arcanas? Only 4 levels. I mean, probably not, but you'll probably be like 13 or 14. Because I'm about to level up again. I was trying to figure out if that was in the original game or not, or if that's something they added. Ouch.
Not enough mana.
Bro, die. Level 11. Bro, do you mind? Jeez. Once you get that chess piece that I made you and you vendored like an idiot, and Tal F gives cast rate and a little bit of mana regen and move speed. No, you do not. There's a 2-piece, a 3-piece, and a complete set, and then each of the pieces give individual set bonuses if you have. Yeah, the 2 pieces, 25 health, 25 mana, and something else, mana regen, I think. And then the 3 pieces, like 50 mana, 25 health, and then the full complete set is 50-50 and something else. Well, so
I need mana. I need mana. I need mana.
God, I hope it's not like that. That's how BFA is. It's so fucking bad. Everybody hated that expansion. It's been officially labeled as the worst WoW expansion to date. So fucking bad. So this is basically how BFA gear is. You get. There are no sets anymore. There's no tier gear. There's no sets of any kind. So you get your gear, and what they've done is they've replaced. Ooh, that's a nice amulet. I mean, I guess not really. You already have the other one, so. So you get a piece of gear that has
Good
an
evening.
item level attached to it. We're going to start with that. And based on the item level, it means that's how much stats the piece of gear is going to get. Beyond that, hold on, Amanda messaged me. Let me make sure. Oh, she messaged me a while ago, probably. 9:10. She never came down to ask me, though. Let me see if she got in. Hold on.
Not enough mana. I need mana. I need mana. I need mana. Not enough mana.
Alright. What was I saying? Oh, right. Give me TP. Oh, so basically, no. Back. Jail. Oh, had the waypoint. That's what I did. So you get this gear, has a stat level associated with it. The stats are fixed based on the item level. And then you have what's called Azurite traits, which is basically each piece of gear has so many traits, which are like random procs or abilities that can roll on the item. So if we were going to translate this to Diablo, for example, let's say you found a Talrasha's helm, or just say let's say you found a Shaco, and you find an item level 100 Shaco, so it gives 100 vitality and 100 energy, and then it has a chance to roll 3 spots for traits. So maybe it'll give you like 10% chance to cast an extra frozen orb when you cast frozen orb, or no, it's just like a bonus on the item by itself. And then the bonuses on the item are tiered. So like the first 2 tiers are like kind of strong, and then the last tier basically just
Greetings.
increases the item level by 5. That's what the last tier always does, regardless of the item. Or so instead of getting like an extra frozen orb proc, the item can roll something useless like you cast a spell and you gain 100 armor, and it's like, okay, that kind of blows. And then there's specific loadouts where you can stack these items, like stack the attributes, because the helm, the shoulder, and the chest piece can all roll the same types of attributes on them, the same types of traits. So you can get a helm that gets the frozen orb bonus, a chest that gets the frozen orb bonus, and the shoulders that get the frozen orb bonus. But that's providing the fact that you can find that item with that item level and get that bonus on it. And then it gets further where maybe you get the frozen orb bonus, but then the other 2 traits are shit. And then you end up with, oh, I got my 3 frozen orb proc traits, but then my other 6 fucking traits are useless. It's like I gain, 100 crit chance, which is nothing, when I would rather have like 15% spell bonus and get that rolled on each of my items, but I can't ever find an item level that's like high enough that's gonna even roll it. Waypoints here. Then you might as well just make it like a set bonus.
Not enough mana.
Stairs. Sounds like it's the same still. Yeah, but then you have to. Unless they're going to make the gearing really easy, then you're going to be stuck in this loop of I'm trying to find this one specific gear that I keep finding, but it's not demonic. So I'd rather be farming for an item and not find it for a really long time, rather than keep finding the item, but it's not the one that I need. Breath of the Dying, yeah. I don't have to refarm because I'll just do slightly less damage. It's not like the system that you're suggesting where it's not the same. It's not the same. Yeah, but so the difference here is... Oh, that guy's raping. The difference here is...
Not enough mana.
So, like, let's say I'm trying to make a better Breath of the Dying. There's way more parameters that I can control to make sure the Breath of the Dying comes out good than if I just keep hoping for the item an item to drop specifically the way that I want it to. So, for example, if you're trying to make a Breath of the Dying, bare minimum, all you have to do is find an ethereal, I don't even remember what the axe is, and helmet. Superior ethereal would be like perfect, obviously, which most people aren't going to wait around for that. But if you could just go for ethereal berserker axe, that's the one. You just wait for the ethereal berserker axe. You just make a level fucking 5 loser. Good, get him rushed to the socket quest in Act 5, and then you throw 6 sockets in, and then you're done. Whereas, if I'm waiting for this demonic... And the likelihood of me finding an ethereal berserker axe is probably pretty high. I would probably guess it probably has anywhere between a 5 and 10% drop rate. Whereas, finding a rare, let's say this is a rare item, or a unique item, rather, finding that is probably like less than 5%. And then finding it with demonic power on it is even lower. So you're just adding another stat roll to the item that doesn't need to be there.
Hello.
Yes?
So for me, what makes the most sense for Diablo gearing is...
Now that I'm
welcome. Maybe you do get rid of sets, or maybe you just make them smaller so that you don't need so many pieces. Maybe you just make like 3-piece sets like the max, and weapons are free to swap in and out of any layout that you want to do. That way you don't have to be so worried about, I want to use this set, but this weapon isn't ideal for my set. And then what you could do from there is, you make sure there are... Did you talk to this lady? I mean, are you in Act 2? Why am I not... What? It says that I can't complete this quest. And Andariel, I was standing next to you when we killed her. And I was in the town when you talked to the person. Alright, whatever. Anyway, let's just remake the game and kill her again, I guess. So let's say there's a couple of different sets, but they're not super big. Like maybe each class has 3 different sets that they can pick from, and maybe one's a little more optimized for one thing, one's a little more optimized for another thing. Huh? I'm gonna make 7. Oh, I hit 6. My bad. Password is 6. So maybe there's a couple of different sets, and they all optimize to a specific build. Or maybe what they do is they let the sets. Yeah, but there were still sets that incorporated weapons into them, which means you couldn't gain the full set without being locked into a weapon. For example, Wasn't the Furious Charge set like that? No, I mean, I'm not talking about most optimal. I'm saying like the Mortal King. Right, but that's not what I'm saying. For Immortal Kings, wasn't the weapon part of the set piece? There was the Immortal King hammer, two-hit hammer, right? So to gain the full set piece, the full set of Immortal Kings, you had to use that weapon. There was no other option. You could. Right, so they did. Yeah, I remember that. So how about this? How about this? Listen to this. What if you create these sets, right? And you can combine any variation of the sets together based on what you want your build to be. So it doesn't matter, as long as it's a set for your class. It doesn't matter if you're using for Barbarian, for example. Let's say there's Immortal Kings and there's Griswolds, let's say, is a Barbarian set, and let's say Eisenhearts is a Barbarian set. It doesn't matter that you're using a set piece from each one, but if right, you get a bonus, but it's based on which pieces you're using in which spots. Because there's no, they make it so that there's no real benefit to using like a full set. There's no need for it. You're using the set pieces individually so that, like, let's say you want to play a Bash Barb, and Eisenhearts is good for Bash, but you want to do a different type of build, and if you combine Eisenheart's Bash with another set that gives you AoE damage on a single target ability, so now you combine Eisenhearts with Immortal Kings, because Immortal Kings gives you AoE damage, or maybe Volcathos gives you increased dual wield speed, so you use that with Immortal Kings or something like that, giving you more opportunities for different gear builds and different loadouts. Obviously, there's always going to be a quote-unquote most optimal build, and people are going to play that when they want to do the highest particular content, but it's going to be able to open you up to so many different types of builds that maybe weren't even a thing in previous games. Like maybe you can do more of a seismic slam build and have it be successful now without being locked into a weapon type or locked into 9 pieces of gear that have to fit a particular way for the build to even remotely work.
I need more. Not enough more.
Got the stairs over here. Yep. I feel like if that's a better way of doing it, then you know you have all these sets and there's only one that's already up, and there's only one set that matters, and all the other ones are useless, and you don't use them, and then you have 15 useless barbarian specific items, and maybe there's 2 of them that you use, and everyone's Yeah, but how many items have good set like good attribute like procs or something in Diablo 3, but they're bound to a useless item that nobody's ever going to use? They didn't though. When I last played Diablo 3, if you, for example, playing on a barbarian and you wanted to use, let's say I was going for the frenzy build, which was like kind of considered okay. If you were going for that build, there was 2 legendaries that you had to rip the set bonuses from because the item that they were attached to were terrible. No, because the item that it's attached to is not going to let you do frenzy. It was like a two-handed.
Stay a while and listen.
Well, I guess in Diablo 3 you could two-hand.
Greetings.
What do you call it? Frenzy. In Diablo 2 you couldn't. You had to dual wield. But there was a two-handed weapon that gave you bonus frenzy stack. It's like, well, if I'm frenzy, I don't want a two-handed weapon. I want a dual wield, so I had to rip the. Right, but then all you're doing is band-aid fixing the problem. You're throwing a band-aid over what the problem is. Why are we creating all these high-end legendary weapons just for you to rip the item out? Like, don't even create the item to begin with. Just make... I would rather the system be different, rather than me having to find an item that I'm not going to use just to rip the stat out. Yes. I don't know what would ultimately be better. I know that for me, that's not a solution. Is to, well, we have all these useless items in the game. Let's just make it so that you can rip the legendaries off, rip the legendary attributes out of them. And it's like, okay, well, why not figure out a better way to make these builds work? So here's my thought process for where this comes from. So in World of Warcraft Classic, right now, there is an item that is extremely rare to find. It's a level 47 item. Level cap is level 60, and it is like the #1 item for melee warrior, DPS warriors, and tanks, because all it does is give +7 skills to axes, swords, and daggers. It gives no other stats. It doesn't do anything else. It's a level 47 item, and the reason why it's so good is because Blizzard didn't think ahead when they designed weapon skill in World of Warcraft. And when you gain 7 weapon skill fighting bosses, it increases your chance to hit by like 6% or 5%. And it increases your damage by 30%. So now every other glove that you get in the entire game is useless, because this is the best / optimal item that you should be using for the entirety of the game, basically. Yeah, because now you either get really lucky and you get this item and then you never need gloves ever again, or you get these gloves or you never get them, and then you're always going to be considered suboptimal, and then the meta starts to shift, and people are like, well, you don't have these gloves, so I don't want you in my raid. +7 to axes, swords, and daggers. And you know what game they're doing that in? World of Warcraft Shadowlands. I mean, it's not out yet. It's the next expansion. But it's this, for me, I don't think it's going to be good because they're just rehashing an idea from another game. Which is basically what they did in BFA with, they added something called Horrific Visions, and guess what Horrific Visions are like? Rifts. And they were fun for like 20 seconds, and then when you realized you had to do them every day to get better gear,
I need mine.
multiple times a day, and you had to farm this other resource so that you could do them, kind of like you have to farm rift keys to make greater rift keys, it became very tiresome. And I feel like that same mindset going into Diablo 4, if they're going to do that, you just slap the legendary attribute onto any piece of gear that you want, is going to have the same effect that adding Horrific Visions to World of Warcraft did.
Hello. Greetings.
I feel like that gives you a little too much freedom. So the problem with that thought process is then everybody is going to wear the same exact gear, and you're going to have different legendary attributes.
Not enough mana.
Yes. So yes and no. So like everybody's going for plus stats in Diablo 2. Like I agree with that. But look at the build diversity. Even if I make like 5 different paladins, same class, I do 5 different builds, the gear is going to be so much different for like at least half. Hammerden build is not going to look anything like Fist of the Heavens, which is not going to look anything like Zeal, which is not going to look much like
Not enough
a
mana.
Smite or Vengeance or something. You know what I mean? Well, yeah, but
Not enough mana. Not enough mana.
I don't know, I feel like Diablo 4, if they do stuff like that, it's gonna end up with the same issues that Diablo 3 had, where you make a character and you get like 90% of your gear in like the first week that you play, and then the next 5 years that you play the game is all gonna be I'm getting the last 10% of my gear that I need because I'm just farming for the same fucking item 900 times a day so that I could get a Griswold branded helm, and all I keep finding is Jamela branded helms. Or no branded helms.
What a misguided monster.
I found one SOJ ever. I found a Mal rune, I think was probably my highest. Yeah, so okay, so that's fair enough. You made
Welcome
one
back.
Enigma the entire time you played the game, right? How many times did you acquire something that allowed you to trade for an Enigma? Because I can tell you right now, every single one of my characters had an Enigma. I probably only got one free Enigma, and all the other ones, I found something that maybe somebody paid a little more than they should have for, and I mean, ultimately, as long as your build is not dependent on these things, these impossible to find items, then I guess it doesn't really matter. The problem is, it should be, I don't know, hard to say. Let me hire a new mercenary here. Offensive, combat, we're gonna go with offensive. Huzzah, Alza here. Al Hizir. He's dope. Probably not. I don't know. It's hard to say what's best for Diablo because you don't want to repeat Diablo 2 and have it feel like the same game because then why am I playing when I can just play Diablo 2? But then you don't want to change the game so much that it doesn't feel like Diablo anymore. Yes, but I also don't want it to be so different that it doesn't feel anything like Diablo.
They
I think finding that balance of having builds feel strong and having different builds feel strong rather than everything falling into like this. You have to build this, otherwise you're just gonna suck, kind of thing. I don't know. I still disagree with that because I don't feel like the initial Inferno mode difficulty was out long enough for the general player base to have experienced it. I think they patched it too soon. Of course. Yeah, but is that when they removed Inferno and renamed it as Torment, or is that when they nerfed it? Because they Yeah, but they before they did that, they nerfed Inferno mode, is what I mean. Inferno was still out before they renamed it Torment. And they nerfed it. Somebody said in this post 3 years ago, I was frustrated as hell playing it, but I acknowledged, yeah, Blizzard said this is going to be crazy difficult. I didn't complete Inferno mode before Blizzard nerfed the difficulty. I'm trying to see if anybody has a timeline. I wonder if I could just pull up D3 patch notes. Let's go back. Let's go way back.
not enough mana.
D3 launch patch. When did Diablo 3 release? So in June 20th, there's a video labeled D3 Inferno difficulty nerf. The new nerfed Inferno in June 20th. I'm telling you, they nerfed Inferno so fast they didn't even let the player base experience it long enough to determine if it needed to be nerfed.
Not enough mana.
So here's the thing. It's literally 1 month later. 1 month. How much of the player base do you even think hit level 60 in that time? It didn't, but not everybody plays 15 hours a day. Comparatively to World of Warcraft Classic, for example, they didn't nerf any of their raids for like 4 months before they determined that they were going to nerf. Like, there was somebody, when they released the one raid that we're doing now, the first time, when you got to the last boss, somebody ran the numbers in the original game, and they said that it was literally mathematically impossible to beat the boss, and that was why they nerfed it. So they released the content, they were like, oh, this, that, and the third, you gotta do this. Okay. And then after like months, somebody like ran the numbers over and over and over again, and then somebody was like, I ran the numbers, this boss is literally impossible to beat with the current. He's like, even if we have this gear from all the previous dungeons that we were supposed to get, and then they nerfed it. And that's a game that you literally pay $15 a month to play. That is port design. But there was, when they were releasing raids like that, when Blackwing Lair came out, which is the second raid from Classic, most guilds didn't even freaking clear Molten Core, which was the first raid, and people were still struggling with Onyxia, and then they released a new raid tier that was even harder than the other two, and they were like, people were asking to nerf it, they're like, no, the content is clearable, you just have to get better. And guess what? 15 years later, people love this game because the content was absolutely clearable. People just didn't know how to, you know, itemize their characters and use the talents properly.
I need mana. Not enough mana.
I still feel, to this day, they didn't have the game released long enough to acquire that information. 1 month of a small percentage of the player base being level capped, even if it was only half the player base being the level cap at the time. You're telling me the content is clearly clearable. You said it yourself, cleared in 4 days after the release of the game, so obviously it's doable. Well, I mean, maybe. If that was exactly what happened to every single person that cleared it. But then they nerfed it to this point where it was like almost a joke. I remember doing the Butcher on Inferno mode because we got to Act 2 and that's where we kind of got stuck, and then they ended up nerfing it like a couple of days later after we got to Act 2. We were doing the Butcher on Inferno mode. He charged you and literally one-shot you. If he landed any of his abilities, he would one-shot you. Now, granted, you could dodge basically every single one of his abilities that would one-shot you, so it was literally a matter of... It was a little bit of a DPS check. You had to make sure you did enough damage before the whole arena filled up with flame.
I need mana.
Right, the enrage timer. But as long as you understood how his mechanics worked, yeah, you could clear. We cleared it. We died a lot, but we cleared it. And then when we got to Act 2 and we got stuck at the bugs, we were like, okay, but that's when you go back and you farm up the acts that you can do, which in our case would be Act 1, and you'll eventually get something and then you progress forward. The problem with Diablo, I think, in that aspect was it was presenting you with a challenge, and before they even gave you the opportunity to see if you could like really gear up and clear it, and you're like, okay, let's use my game knowledge. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna level up and I'm gonna get these items and see if they improve my build. They were like, too many people are complaining. No.
Not enough mana.
Gold. So here's my issue with that argument. Inferno mode was not new content. There was nothing gated behind doing it. So like you weren't missing out on any part of the game by not being able to clear Inferno mode, besides the fact of you're clearing the challenge of Inferno mode. So the fact that they nerfed it prematurely was pointless because all you're doing is handing people their participation trophy. That's all they're doing. It's too hard. Okay, well this is the same content you cleared 3 other times anyway, so you either get better to clear it or you don't clear it. Like, they should have just left it at that, and then eventually people are going to start clearing it. If they wait long enough, it's just a matter of time. It's how numbers work. But instead, they said, oh, people are complaining, let's nerf it, and now everybody can clear Inferno mode. Oh wow, now it's a real huge accomplishment. Everybody can clear Inferno mode like literally days after they nerfed it. But if they told you up front that that was going to be the deal, why would you argue it? They told us from the bat, Inferno mode is going to be ridiculous. Hardest thing you guys have ever played in a Diablo game. No one's forcing you to play Inferno mode. No benefit to playing Inferno mode besides self-game.
Not enough mana.
So there was no reason to nerf it. And the second argument would be, if that was how they wanted to approach it, and they wanted it to be very difficult, what they should have done was make the end boss, the Butcher, and maybe one other boss in Act 1 have a chance to drop eye level 63 gear, or even 62, and give it a decent shot. Maybe it's not something you need, maybe it's for a different class, but then ultimately you can list that item on the auction house, or you could trade it to somebody, and you're like, I found a level 62 source piece and I'm a barb. Okay, at least I found something that I could get from something else. I don't know. I feel like I hope in Diablo 4, if something is too difficult, they don't immediately jump to nerfing it like they did in 3. I think they should fix it out. Yeah, I think if there's more than 3 builds that can clear the content, or maybe even more than 2. The 7 is a lot of builds. Way too many builds. Mm-hmm. How many of those do you think without perfect gear can clear Hell mode? I guarantee you, charge mode will not get you through Hell mode. Once you get to the Chaos Sanctuary and you start getting Iron Maiden, so unless you have a really, really, really good build, it's over. You're getting wrecked. Vengeance. Yeah, but Uber was something they added later in the game anyway. Not really, because it's just one boss fight. It's not a whole entire difficulty. Oh, you're over there. I don't know. I feel like I was looking at this game for a while. This one game is called Lost Ark. Very promising game. Never came to the States. Korea owned. Plays just like a Diablo 3 type game, but they make it an MMO, so you form groups and clear content because it's required, kind of like World of Warcraft. You need a healer, you need a tank, you need this, but it plays like Diablo. I thought that would have been a cool way to play a Diablo style game, but it never made it here. And then the other companies in the US tried to make. Oh, you have Lost City? Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot I did that. Let me clear this big pack of guys here because there's a special guy. So basically it plays like Diablo. It's a point click like you do here. You have some abilities on your bar. But each class, there's professions, there's dungeons that you have to clear that require a group and things like that. And world bosses, things of that nature. I found another ice. I wonder if there's any benefit to dual wielding ice. More attack. Is it better than using this? Fire resist, though. I'll probably hold on to that mace until Act 5 or Act 4. I'll probably get wrecked by fire damage. But you have like so much. Well, at least from the way that it seemed from the trailer, it seemed like the content was more engaging rather than being like solo dolo all the time. It seemed like it would be more fun because I can't think of a game that plays like Diablo does but also plays like WoW does. And the US tried to release a couple of games that would compete in that bracket. Path of Exile is just a Diablo clone. And they make the game so they try to make the game more engaging by complexity, but that doesn't exactly mean that it's better. They give you this overly massive skill tree to look at, and then they give you the gems, which are basically your skills or your spells, and then you're just staring at it like, what the fuck am I even doing? I tried Path of Exile probably 4 times. The first, second, probably 40 something. Yeah, and the game is not like it's too difficult. I just feel so uninterested while I'm playing. And I don't know if that has to do with, like, I played the whatever Marauder, I think is the barbarian class. I played that class, and the animations for his abilities, like the way he swings is like, he doesn't seem like he's swinging with force, and like some of the early abilities, like the molten swing that throws his little lava rocks on the floor. I can't. You have to move out of the way. Oh, stop shooting, stop shooting, stop shooting. Okay, you can shoot. Lightning resist is my highest one, but it's only 25. Oh my god, we're already level 17? It only picked up one that I remember. And I was still behind you at that point. No, they don't have anything like that in this.
Blessings to you.
I don't know. But I feel like... Yeah. I'm like 20% in. So I somehow got a full level on you, but I don't know where. Do I have a leap yet? Maybe I'll get a leap on my next. I can just jump over you. And when we finished Act 1, you were still higher level than me, so it happened in Act 2, and I know I didn't get any XP shrines.
I need mine.
I doubt it. Maybe I just got lucky and found more special mobs or something when we branched off at the start of Act 2. Yeah, they made, I think we gotta go the other way. They made Guardians of Ember, which was supposed to be a competitor, I think, to Lost Ark. But I heard very mixed reviews. Steam has mixed reviews of it. And it was $30, no monthly fee. And I was like, I don't know. And then they made, no, I never played Krypton. There was another game they made that was also in that same category of Lost Ark and stuff, and that one also had like mixed reviews, and I didn't play it. Oh, Moo Legends, I think. I found TP up for level 2. MU Legends. And then what's the Lineage? Lineage had one. The Lineage was like, they made it seem like it was going to be a mobile game, so I never played it. And then Moo Legends, I heard the end game was bad. I think I found it. No, I did not. I think it's... They do?
It is an honor to serve you.
all red. It's not even Wednesday